In this video, we will learn how to use the standard normal distribution to find a probability associated with a normally distributed random variable. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported in 2016 that the mean hourly wage for registered nurses in the U.S. was $34.70. Assume that nursing salaries are normally distributed with a standard deviation of $11.58. If a registered nurse is selected at random, what is the probability that he or she has an hourly wage that exceeds $54.62? In probability notation, we would state this as the probability that the value of the random variable x is greater than 54.62. In order to find this probability, we would first need to calculate a z-score. So we would find the difference between the value of the random variable, 54.62, and the mean, 34.7. And then we would divide that by the standard deviation, 11.58. This would result in a z-score of 1.72. So finding the probability that the random variable x would exceed 54.62 would then be the same as finding the probability that a z-score on the standard normal distribution would be greater than 1.72. The z-score 1.72 would lie between the z-scores of 1 and 2 on our normal probability distribution, a little closer to 2. We are looking for the probability that z would exceed this value, which would correspond to the area under the curve in this tail. Looking at the left column of the cumulative normal distribution table, we travel down until we find a z-score of 1.7, and then travel to the right until we find where that row crosses up with the column that is headed 0.02. Here we find a value of 0.9573. We see at the bottom of this table the picture of the normal distribution. The 4 decimal place values in the body of the table correspond to the shaded region in the picture of the normal distribution. So the cumulative normal distribution probability associated with the z-score of 1.72 would be 0.9573. But we were to find the probability that z would exceed that value, which would then be the area under the curve on the other side of z equals 1.72. So in order to find that, we would need to subtract that value, 0.9573, from 1, the total area under the curve. So the probability that z would exceed 1.72 would be equal to 0.0427. Another way to state that result is, assuming that nursing salaries are normally distributed with a mean of $34.70 and a standard deviation of $11.58, 4.27% would earn more than $54.62 per hour. In this video, we learned how to use the standard normal distribution to find a probability associated with a normally distributed random variable.